runs batted in after his 90 millionth career home run against the New York Yankees. 58 runs batted in, his third most in Major League Baseball. He's led the team in runs batted in 5 straight years and was slated to lead them again this year had he finished the year. And he helps the Red Sox complete a 3-game sweep of the New York Yankees to go above 500 on the season. And game's over, and now he's a San Francisco Giant, traded for 2 current Major League pitchers, or I guess we'll hold off on that categorization for the moment, because they acquired right-handed pitcher Jordan Hicks and left-handed pitcher Kyle Harrison, who was slated to start for the Giants in Los Angeles last night on ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball. Half hour before the game, they pull him from the start and say, "You've been traded to the Red Sox," who promptly then sent him to AAA. And Jordan Hicks, he's going to start for the Red Sox, one would think, at some point. He's currently on the injured list with toe inflammation, plus 2 prospects coming to Boston for Rafael Devers. And I imagine the haul isn't what Chris and Red Sox Nation thought they could get for Rafael Devers. That said, part of the reason I imagine that haul might not be as exciting for Red Sox Nation is because the Giants are paying every penny that remains on his contract that runs through 2033. And that's over $250 million. And that's maybe part and parcel of why this happened. Another reason why this may have happened is because of the money they spent in free agency this year after hardly spending a dime of note over the past few winters to acquire Alex Bregman, who plays the same position as the one that Devers had been playing until Bregman arrived. And when Bregman arrived via free agency, Rafael Devers was pissed and let everyone know about it in multiple languages. He was multilingual in being pissed off publicly. Here was the moment where potentially the trade conversations began, or at least the smoke began behind the scenes, when Devers was asked about playing designated hitter now that Bregman was the third baseman, or at least a third baseman, or at least somebody who, is a Gold Glover at that position, which Devers, in order to have a Gold Glove, he would have to take his glove and plate it in gold himself, because nobody who votes for that would ever consider Devers as such. But when you rake like he does, you kind of overlook all of that. But at any rate, this was the moment of truth back in February. Hit it.
Yeah, I mean, third base is my position. It's what I've played. I don't know what their plans are. Like, I know we had a conversation. I made it clear kind of what my desires were. And yeah, whatever happens from here, I don't know.
How would you react if they asked you to DH? How would you feel about that?
No.
Can you translate that, please?
Yeah, that one didn't need to be translated. So,
No.
Devers was hooked on phonics on that one. Listen, Chris, I don't know how you're feeling, but in your manager, I trust. And we always say here on this show, when things like this happen, and the only thing similar to this that you could say might have happened, is the Luka trade, where somebody who is still quite in his prime and is viewed as the face of the franchise, or the best player still remaining on the franchise, gets sent to California out of the blue, out of nowhere. I'm assuming, and we'll ask Jeff Passan this shortly, this wasn't like a pocket listing for the Giants. Were they shopping him? And they just found somebody that really could use him. I mean, the Giants are really going to enjoy Rafael Devers, and everybody's sitting in their boats and kayaks out there in McCovey Cove. Get ready, because he's going to send some splashdowns your way from the left side of the plate. And, you know, with all due respect to your former Met, Wilmer Flores, he wasn't cutting it with the power stats, and he is, despite his excellence since leaving the Mets to go to San Francisco, he's going to lose some ABs here. That said, the Giants should be ecstatic. Their fans should be ecstatic. Buster Posey pushing buttons to say, we are in the mix here in this NL West, and we need this bat, and we're going to go ahead and spend the money. And kudos to ownership, and kudos to the front office, and kudos to everybody in that organization. They are getting a stone-cold Red Sox Yankee killer, which is the other thing here. We always say, you know, there's an iceberg, we just see the tip. And if the Red Sox are trying to break in all of these young studs that they're bringing up, and you got somebody there who's like, yeah, I'm not playing anything other than the position that I'm playing, third base, and winds up DHing, and he clearly took some time to DH to get a hold of it, right? What, the first week of the season?
Was 0 for 17.
You know, with a ton of strikeouts.
Yeah,
but he found his sea legs.
Oh, yeah. He's third in RBIs in Major League Baseball.
And, you know, and then he refuses once Tristan Casas, their stud young first baseman, goes out for the rest of the season due to injury. Yeah, I'm not going to learn how to play first, although that ain't easy to learn how to do that in the middle of a season.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus, you know, if he wasn't very good fielding at third, and that's a position he's been playing, first base could have been really ugly. And, you know, but if whatever's going on behind the scenes and he's unhappy there, you got to ship him out, I guess.
Do you?
I don't know.
This is so embarrassing on so many levels. So many levels. Fans have no reason to root for this team, you know, if ownership and front office is going to behave this way. Like, what are you teaching and what are you showing these younger kids? Clearly, Devers was lied to in the offseason, right? He went into this year thinking, I'm the third baseman. Mm-hmm. He was probably told, hey, look, we're going after Alex. He's going to play second or short, right? And then all of a sudden, spring training hits, and now he's the third baseman. I don't blame him for being pissed for that. But he did eventually take to being the DH. Now you want him to relearn another position. You're asking him to shift his focus again, as we've heard all offseason. It's a different focus to be out on the field and then going to hit. And then, no, I'm not playing the field anymore. Now I'm just a hitter. Now you want him to go back to that again. I don't blame him for being upset. What's going to be disappointing is maybe we'll hear it from Jeff already, but this week you're going to get all the stories coming out of Boston about how he was a malcontent in the clubhouse. They're just going to trash him on the way out, and that is going to really suck because this guy has been one of the faces of the Red Sox for the last decade. He came onto the scene blasting a home run at 18 years old off of Aroldis Chapman, and you're like, this guy is going to be with our organization until the end of time, as long as I will be a fan. And now we've seen it time and time again that from this ownership group, they care about other things other than the Red Sox. This is clearly just a salary dump, and they're going to trash him for being a malcontent on the way out. And that is really disappointing. It's really embarrassing. We're not the Pirates. We're not the White Sox. We're the Red Sox. They've won the most championships this century. What are we doing?
And on top of it, I will say this, speaking as a diehard Yankee fan, see ya. To quote Michael Kay, see ya. We will see ya for 3 games.
Absolute Yankee killer.
At-bats. That's all I want to see him. 12 at-bats, maybe 14 per year. Outstanding news. Because if you're a Red Sox too, and you find a stone cold, I'll use that again, Yankee killer, you cannot get rid of him. Garrett Cole, wherever he is high-fiving, hopefully with his non-surgically repaired arm. But this is the guy who, if you remember last year, wound up, I think, coming up on his own to personally come up with the idea to intentionally walk him, and then fell completely apart after that. I have his numbers against Garrett Cole, the guy who the Yankees have spent a gajillion dollars on, and until, Max Fried, who gave up a home run to Devers, I think, to make it 31, if not 32 career home runs against the Yankees. The ace, Garrett Cole, 14 hits, 8 home runs, 20 runs batted in against Cole in his career.
And that's the other thing that is so infuriating about the announcement of this. It came after a sweep of the Yankees
yes.
in which he hits a home run.
I don't know if did we catch the fact that you knocked Jay Felly's or somebody's, you knocked something off the table by pounding the table.
Dare you?
I'm ready to flip over the table.
I hear you. I couldn't be happier. Although this kid Narvaez, who the Yankees sold to the Red Sox,
he's been great.
Has been a new Yankee killer.
He's been great.
And so again, you're going to play all these kids, and you're playing for.
Are
what
we?
appears
Because
to be,
apparently they're sitting against lefties.
I don't know.
Figure it out.
It is a big shrug emoji. But as a Yankee fan, see ya. And that will be that. Wally's hat stays, Devers goes. And the Devers, Bogarts, Mookie Betts trio that I thought would be sticking it to the Yankees deep into this decade will now are all California baseball players. And speaking from the Bronx, couldn't be happier. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.